Welcome everybody to the first annual Edward Hopper House Museum and Study Center virtual picnic and concert. It's the first time we are doing this. Virtual land. It's virtually raining here in virtual land. My name is Mary Mathwick. I'm the president of the board of trustees of the Edward Hopper House Museum. We're so happy to have this event, and it could not be possible without our awesome fundraising committee, some of whom are here today. I'd like to thank Robin Scheuer. I'd like to thank Vicki Hertz, who isn't here tonight, and also Marjorie Gallen, who's here today and who's been an awesome supporter of Hopper House for a long time. We're so happy to have tonight, we're honoring two wonderful individuals who have really contributed to their artistry and creativity to the what the Edward Hopper House Museum is today. They both, in completely different ways, have transcended and really made this house wonderful. Bert Hughes with the jazz, 40 years, and Walter Cain, who has done so much with the Hopper bedroom and also his ongoing contribution to the museum. So we're very happy to honor them tonight. I'd also, we have the wonderful opportunity to have this wonderful, great jazz band, the John Molina Band, featuring Erik Lawrence, who will be here also. So I'm very happy to have them here. And we're honored to have them. A special shout out to Karen Shovers for her asking to get the tent and her really hard work in pulling this together. It's unbelievable, it really is. So without further ado, I want to introduce Leslie, who is going to make an introduction. Leslie's been honored before. We're happy to have her. She is going to be introducing Walter. All right. Enjoy.
Can I use a microphone? No. Yes, maybe. Okay. Edward Hopper once said, "More of me comes out when I improvise." This is exactly how I think of Walter Cain. Walter is a Renaissance man who is always improvising and who has a great deal coming out of him, much to our benefit. Walter moved to Rockland County in 2004 when he purchased a historic home in Piermont with his husband, Paolo. Now, I don't know if many of you know this, but houses have personalities like people. And the house they bought had a lot of personality. It had layers of history, it was filled with art, and completely magical. Walter described the personality of his house as a grande dame, an elderly woman who had a great deal of style, high cheekbones, but was a bit disheveled. A developer had plans to tear her down. But the house had so much character and needed so much help that Walter and Paolo decided that they had to come to her rescue. She became Walter's muse, so much so that he pivoted from a 27-year career in finance and investment management to get a master's degree in architecture from Columbia University. He engaged with the history of the house by layering in the aspect of time, by blending permanence with ephemeral, and acknowledging the past with an eye to the future. It's a house that he calls activated. I love that description. Everything I just said could describe Walter's relationship with the Edward Hopper House Museum and Study Center. Walter fell in love with the Hopper House in 2016 when he collaborated with the interior designer Ernest de la Torre to renovate Hopper's bedroom. This house too has a personality. Walter thinks of it as a young adolescent who is comfortable being around from here and is among its neighbors. The architecture is typical of Nyack. It's human scale, not grand. It's friendly and a natural connector to the community. The house is perfectly sited, letting light pour in the front windows and fill up the rooms. It's no accident that a human sense of scale and quality of light is always present in Hopper's work. Walter's passion for this house has resulted in many, many efforts on his part. He's hosted numerous dinner parties to expand awareness. He's organized fundraisers. He's on the Capital Campaign Committee and is leading the design of the planned addition to the house. His dream is to make the Hopper House easier to visit with more amenities like bathrooms and an elevator. He would like to make more room for art, interpretation, and history. How lucky we are that this Renaissance man, this risk taker, this creative, intellectual, artistic man decided to invest his passions here. For all that he does for the Hopper House Museum and Study Center, I'm thrilled to introduce this year's summer benefit honoree, Walter Cain. Hug.
Thank you so much, Leslie. It's been a very interesting journey being involved with Hopper House, and I have to say I'm just so honored, really deeply honored to be honored. And it's because I know a lot of the other honorees. I know how awesome these people are and how dedicated they've been through the years to Hopper House. So these include people like my friend Vicki Hertz, who was mentioned earlier, who has given many, many years of service, or Ken Carbone, who was Leslie's business partner, who has done a lot of work on branding and rebranding Hopper House. And so it's quite an honor to be in a group with Leslie and Ken and Vicki and Bert, our other honoree tonight, who I understand how awesome they are as talented people, but also how much time and love they've given to Hopper House through the years. So it's sort of humbling to be part of that and to be on that list, to be in their company. There's a lot of weird stuff going on right now, right? And one of the weird things that's going on is I think a lot of people are calling into question the whole idea of honor. So we're seeing all kinds of monuments to people who we thought honorable, now kind of deposed and kind of outed for things that they did that were despicable. And so it's kind of a nerve-wracking time to be honored, because I think to be honored is to invite scrutiny. And that makes, any normal person kind of nervous, right? So, honestly, I'm not nervous about scrutiny. I'm not nervous about all that stuff. I'm a little nervous, though, being in the company of so many people through so many years who've been honored, because the standard's so high for dedication to Hopper House. So that makes me, a little bit nervous, and I hope I can live up to the standards that all these people have set. Hopper House website has some really interesting archives, and recently I bumped into a video by Wim Perry, who's another one of these people over history that's dedicated a lot to Hopper House, and he talks about what everybody went through when they started Hopper House. It's a group of neighbors put their money together, raised money, and actually personally got involved in the renovation of Hopper House. Even individuals taking windows home from board meetings to take them home, repair the broken glass, put in the putty and paint. So Hopper House has really attracted a whole lot of heart, a lot of attention, a lot of love, and it really is quite an honor to be part of that. I want to thank a few people. Ernie De La Torre, who was my partner in crime when we were renovating the bedroom. Simone Isold, who never gets any credit or attention, but she's awesome, kind of behind the scenes, and she continues to be that. My partner in life, Paula, who puts up with all the crazy stuff that Leslie was talking about, and sometimes actually helps out and participates in this. So we crawled up together in the attic when we were trying to find the missing pieces from the bed that we thought to be Mr. Hopper's on a very hot afternoon, and we found the rest of the bed. Paolo was part of that whole thing. So thank you, Paolo, for all of that. And I really want to thank everybody that's participated and contributed to this event. Welcome to Hopper House. Welcome to the community. This really is an important asset to our community, and everybody that we mentioned as part of that. So I'm honored to be a part of that continuum. Thank you very much.
Hi, everybody. My name is Erik Lawrence, and a longtime NIAC musician, saxophone player, band leader, etc., and really, really dear friends of Bert Hughes, who we're here to honor as well. And when I say Bert Hughes, I mean Bert and Chris Hughes, because they're inseparable. And what they've accomplished together is unbelievable. And let me just get through the formalities by reading a formidable list of things that they have contributed to their community. Where do I begin? Bert was the high school band director and began and established the permanent jazz program at Nyack High School. He was there for 25 years. And while he was there, he started a group called Students Opposing Starvation and began doing midnight run with students, which was taking 2 vans full of students and food and clothing and toiletries and anything that homeless people would need, and bring them to homeless people in the middle of the night. And it's something that they continue to do. They've been doing it for over 30 years. And I've done that with them many times, but not nearly enough. But they've done it every month, twice a month, and now they sit on the permanent executive board of directors of that. In addition, he's a permanent member of the, longtime member of the Nyack Parks Commission, where he did, over 25 years, booked concerts in the park on Tuesday nights, which you probably all remember and appreciate. And he's on virtually, or I should say they have done, and they are on virtually every Fair Housing Commission, Nyack Housing, Rockland Housing Action Coalition, Nyack Housing Assistance Corp., Rockland Sister Cities Project in Nicaragua, Nyack Seniors, Rockland Interfaith Breakfast Program in Spring Valley, and Rockland Helping Hands. And I can tell you also that I remember from the early 80s, we would do the Nyack Peace Parade right down Broadway and Main Street in Nyack, and that was really a heartwarming and unforgettable memory. Bert is a baritone saxophone player primarily, and also probably one of the best whistlers I've ever heard in my life. And John Coltrane has this quote that says, when you begin to hear the possibilities of music, you start wanting to do something really, really good for people. And Bert and Chris Hughes are 2 people who did that. And I think he's the first person, long before now, that taught me the real sense of entitlement. When you have something, you share it, and how much privilege we have as being somewhere around the middle class, and whether it's towards the bottom or the top, you always have something you can give, even if it's just spending a night driving around in a van in New York City. So I just also want to say that these people have been incredibly kind to a lot of people, but I feel they've been really, really kind to me, and I don't need to personally go into why. But I'll say that I honestly feel like I have 2 fathers in this world. One who nurtured me, and one who stuck around with me for the last, especially 15 years since the first one passed away. And the first one taught me the humanity in music. And the second one taught me the music in humanity, and that's Bert Hughes.
Thank you, Erik. Well, first of all, I would like to say many thanks for the Hopper House for recognizing 40 years of music in the garden. And the first thing I would say is that none of this would have been possible with me if it wasn't for my wonderful wife, Chris. Yeah. She's really a big part of it. This celebration is to thank all the people who made it possible. From the parents who first thought it was a great idea for their children to play and sing music, to the teachers, to the group leaders who nurtured them, to all the great musicians. Then Ray Wright, 40 years ago, for asking me if it would be possible to have music here right here. The Opera House trustees and directors and the executive directors, they've been supportive beyond anything you can imagine. Just a fabulous group of human beings. To the many volunteers who weekly made things go so smoothly, and to the Grace Church for being our rain location. Ho, ho, ho. Sometimes it rains on the parade, but we didn't have the good fortune of tents. To the many donors and businesses who made the concerts a reality, to the community of Nyack for continued support, and the fabulous musicians who performed, their desire and willingness to share their talents with family, friends, and community is beyond any words I have. I express my great appreciation. The people who swept the stage, provided lighting, sound, refreshments, the list goes on to provide joy and pleasure for others. Little did we know, the first year when we started, we had Nyack High School Jazz Ensemble, we had Trio Chanticleer with Peter Bannon and Susan Hallar, and the renowned saxophone Artie Lawrence. Little did we know we'd be here 40 years later, featuring world-renowned musicians who are most based in Rockland County. And to them I say many, many thanks. Before I finish, I just want to say that I wanted to recognize two people who were great stewards of the Hopper House and to the concert series who passed away this year. One was Ginger Stoltz and the other was Lynn Sabey. So I just wanted to be sure I mentioned them if you didn't know that they had passed. Truly I want to thank the John Molina Band and Erik Lawrence and the whole band for the performance. And I want to thank Karen and Marjorie, who are the chairs of today's event. Thank you very much. Enjoy.
All right, well, that should do it for our presentations. We're going to enjoy the music, and just a special thank you. There took a lot of pieces, as you can imagine, to put this together today, and special thanks to Janine for all her support, and my co-chair Marjorie, and of course Robin, and there's so many people. I thank you. And John Molina Band and Erik Lawrence, please enjoy the music and your dinners tonight by Mimi's Plate. All right, thank you so much for all your support and being a part of this really wonderful cause. Have a good night.
1, 2, 3. If they asked me, I could write a book about the way you walk and whisper and look. I could write a preface on how we met, so the world would never forget that the simple secret of the plot is just to tell them that I love you a lot. Then the world discovers that is my bookends, how to make two lovers of friends. so the world would never forget that the simple secret of the plot is just to tell them that I love you a lot. Then the world discovers that as my book ends, how to make two lovers of friends. We'd like to give a shout out to John Guth here, who's doing the sound for us, and against some very daunting circumstances. So thank you, John. Hey, we'd like to also say a special thank you to our videographers, Wendy Baker and Ossie Moore. Thank you. Thank you, guys. D minor. Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Don't cry, don't cry. One of these mornings you're gonna rise up singing. Then you spread your wings and take it to the sky. Till that morning, there's nothing can harm you. With daddy and mommy standing nearby. fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich and your mom is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Don't cry, don't cry. One of these mornings you're gonna rise up singing. Then you spread your wings, take it to the sky. Till that morning, there ain't nothing can harm you. With daddy and mommy standing nearby. In summertime, in summertime, Oh, and Bert, thanks for feeding the band. Not just tonight, in reality, but throughout the years, metaphorically. I know you gave me my first gig in Nyack and pretty much all my other gigs. So thank you for feeding the bands, feeding the music. And this song goes out to Bert and Chris. And we'll throw Walter in there too. You make it up. You're just too marvelous for words, like glorious and glamorous, and that old standby amorous. It's all too wonderful. I'll never find the words that say enough, spell enough. I mean, they just ain't swell enough. You're just too much and just too very, very to ever be in Webster's dictionary. And so I'm borrowing a love song from the birds to tell you that you're marvelous, too marvelous for words. You are just too marvelous for blittle gay babe, 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 oh, shoot up babe, loud, babe, get over it, don't get blow way down. You are just too wonderful. I will never find them. You're just too much and just too very, very to ever be in Webster's dictionary. And so I'm borrowing a love song from the birds to tell you that you're marvelous, to tell you that you're marvelous, to tell you that you're marvelous, too marvelous for words. You're too marvelous for words. don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Said do wah 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 do wah. Don't mean a thing. All you got to do is sing like a do wah 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 do wah. Make no difference if it's sweet or hot. Give that rhythm everything you got. Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Do wah 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 do wah. Shoo da boom bam boom boom da bam ba do do boom boom da da do. 3 times do ba da do ba da da bo ba bam boom ba diddly dong bam bam ba do da. Shoo do ba da do da ba dong ba dong get a boom ba da do bo 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 ba da bam. We don't got show back, but that for you made it over that live but it don't got back. Should have didn't go by, but it down blow, 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 Melissa Slocum on 3-string bass. Shake bo bap on loo dee dang bang gang bang gang bang go. Do what, 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 do what. Don't mean a thing, but ain't got that swing. Do what, 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 do what. Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that. Do what, 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 do what. You all know Erik Lawrence here, local legend and saxophonist extraordinaire. Local legend number 2, Mr. Jim West on piano. On the bass, Melissa Slocum. And on the drums, Mr. David F. Gibson. David F. Gibson. My wife got tired of me running round, tried to keep me home. Well, she broke my nose and hid my clothes, but I continued to roam. And then she finally hit my weak spot, threatened to throw my bottle out. From the basement to the rooftop, everybody could hear me shout, give me that wine, give me that wine, give me that wine, hand. 'Cause I can't cut loose without my juice. Got to have my Lucy when I go walking in. One real dark and dreary night, I was staggering home to bed. Well, the bandit jumped from the shadows, put a blackjack side my head. That cat took my watch, my ring, my money. I didn't make a sound, but when he reached and got my bottle, you could hear me for blocks around. Give me that wine. Give me that wine, give me that wine. 'Cause I can't cut loose without the juice. Only drink for medicinal purposes. One day my house caught fire. I was laying down taking a little nap. I woke up to everything burning with a pop and a crackle and a snap. Now that fireman chopped up my TV set, tore my apartment apart. But when he raised his axe to my bottle, I screamed with all my heart. Give me that wine, give me that wine, give me that wine. So I can drink one toast before I roast. No sense going out half-baked, might as well tear it up, tear it up. Take all those Hollywood glamour girls, Julia Roberts, Michelle Pfeiffer, Demi Moore. Take all those chicks, line them up beside the Hopper House door, put a gigantic jug beside them. Tell me to take my choice. Will there be no doubt which one I chose? The minute I raise my voice, give me that wine, give me that wine. Those chicks look fine, but I'll take the wine. Now some folks like money, some like to dance and dine. I'll be happy if you give me that wine. I want to thank everyone for making this another wonderful Hopper House annual benefit under, you know, the worst of circumstances and turning it into something beautiful. So it's a beautiful thing. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you bring on the rain. Stop your sighing, get happy again, keep on smiling. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. Ladies and gentlemen, Erik Lawrence. Melissa Slocum. Gibson. Ba 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 bo ba da da ba 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 lo ba da da ba da le bo ga ba ba da bo ba ba. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles at you. When you're laughing, you bring on the rain, stop your sighing. Get happy again, keep on smiling. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles. The whole world smiles. The whole world smiles with you. Whole world smiles with you. Thank you so much. And now, if it's okay with Erik, I'd like him to close out the show with an original composition, right? And
Yeah.
All live music venues around the world have been shut down.
All live music venues around the world. So this might be the only gig happening in the entire world right now. So, and you are here.
adore me. You don't adore me. I get no kick in a plane. Flying too high with some gal in the sky is my idea of nothing to do. But I get a kick. I get a kick. I get a kick out of you.